Just checking to see if I have to bring the gain up or down. Where are we? 4.5. Take it up a little bit. Ooh, that's too much. 3.0. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, turn on the treadmill and just start the workout. All right. Everything looks like it's in order. Yeah. Okay. Oh, there's one other thing I gotta do. Hey, there we go. All right. Um, I'm gonna be using my watch to time the workout this time. See if it works better than trying to time it off the what do you call it, the readout on the treadmill. So, oof. And as always, 4% grade, and we're gonna go up to 2.4 miles an hour for a minute, just to warm the legs up. I'm gonna do a minute at 2.8 miles an hour, and then 90 seconds at 3.2, then 90 seconds at 3.6, and then, 3 20-minute blocks, and a 15-minute block, and a 10-minute block, going up and down in speed. During the warm up and the cool off, the adjustments are by zero point 0.4 miles an hour. During the actual uh, treadmilling, it's by 0.2 miles an hour. I don't think I'm ever really going to go that much above 4.5 miles an hour, because when it turns into a jog, you know, I'm going to get winded. Oh shit, I forgot to use the inhaler. All right. Going up to, 2.8 miles an hour for a minute. Yeah, this isn't loud. The motor on this thing. It gets loud when there's a bolt flopping around in the front of it, near the front roller for the conveyor belt. Sometimes it gets in there and you hear it like rattling around and shit, which sucks. But it's actually kind of funny because I have insurance on it. Every electronic thing I buy from Amazon is covered by this policy, and I wanted to send somebody, go put the bolt back in, and they said we can't do that going up to 3.2. We don't have anybody in your area, so we'll just refund you. I paid $23 in tax, so I got a treadmill for $23. Now I've been paying, shit, gain's way too high. Just turn this down. Yeah, okay, there we go. All right. Oh shit, what the hell was I talking about? I'm talking about the treadmill, of course, but. Oh yeah, I've been paying into this insurance policy. It's $18 a month, but if you calculate it out at $20 a month, uh, that's $240 a year, and I've been paying it for like 3 years, so 3.5 years, maybe 4. So I've been giving them a lot of money, but they came through for me twice now. First with a crappy and expensive laptop I bought from MSI, which it was the MSI Creative Series. It's supposed to be awesome, and when it worked, it was. But it just had so many issues. finally it got knocked off a table. Going up to 3.6. It got knocked off a table after coming back from being repaired, which then the repair didn't work. So I'm getting ready to send it back, and it gets knocked off the table. And they just said, fuck it, here's your money back. But the thing that really pissed me off about MSI, I sent it in for them to work on. They sent it out to what do you call it, a subcontractor. And I really don't mind that too much. But they sucked. They didn't fix the issue. All they did was put their splash screen up. So I know who further screwed up my computer. I don't know if I'm going to ever, buy a laptop that expensive again. Not now on the budget I'm living on. But I'm keeping the what do you call it, that insurance policy. It's called Assyrian Tech. And they just informed me today, they do this every month, that my upcoming $18 premium is coming up. And I gladly pay it because it's been worth it. Alrighty. Going up to 4 miles an hour, 20 minutes. So today's a big day for me. My game goes up on itch.io after my workout. And I already have an appointment for the dentist, but I got to call them and give them my insurance information. And I also have to schedule a lung screening, lung cancer screening. And they want that on people who smoked within the last 20 years. I quit smoking like 12 years ago, so they're going to be, wanting to do that every so often for the next 8 years. But health-wise, I've been very, very fortunate, so. My legs feel really good today. And what is it like? It's 20 after 11. I do Walmart deliveries, so I make my own hours. I'm an independent contractor, so to speak. Well, not so to speak, I am. I felt like, I have very high metrics. My job completion is 100%. My shopping, when it comes to like finding things in the store, is like 99%. The other 1% is from them not having the ordered item in stock. Like, I had this lady ordered leggings. She wanted them in small, but the Walmart app glitched out. So the order was for extra small. So, and at this point, Walmart's been just like pissing me off this past week with the jobs they've been giving me. So, I was going to scan the extra small and then just throw the small in her order, and fuck Walmart. But they didn't even have the extra small for me to scan. So I was going to swap out, maybe mediums or something, you know, whatever they had. Um, but it wouldn't let me make the substitution. I have a 4.7 customer out of 5, 4.7, and I think I got one really low. Like the reason I don't have 4.9 or 5.0 is because one woman who felt I was taking too long shopping her order. She had like 80 fucking things on her order. And it only took me like an hour and 15 minutes. And I think I've already talked about this, but I'm going to talk about it again. She ordered a certain type of undergarment, you know. And I wanted to make sure, I mean, because there are a lot of different sizes and a lot of different absorbencies. So I wanted to make sure I got the exact right one. And also because, you know, it would really suck if Walmart wouldn't let me make a substitution there. Took the thing right off her order. So I found the right undergarment. And I packaged it up so that, you know, people who drive by and they see her packages on the front doorstep, they don't see her personal items. You know, I'm really, like, even if it's in a big box or something, I'll put other things in front of it, you know. But after I started shopping her order, within like 45 minutes, she's like, "Where's my order? Where is it?" You know, and I told her, "Oh, I'm shopping your order right now." Thankfully, it was text. It wasn't, you know, she didn't call me. And I don't think the customers can call me. I can call them, but they can't call me. But it really, really, really upset me. Because I shopped that order for an hour, 15 minutes, hour, 20 minutes, something like that. It was less than an hour and a half. Right when I'm leaving the store, she cancels the order. So I contacted tech support and said, you know, am I getting compensated? Now it was a $26 job, and they gave me $25. You know, because of the time I put in, and because the customer canceled the order, I didn't. And I was really, really, really happy with Walmart then. I really was. I felt like they had my back, you know. But this past week, they've been flashing jobs up on my screen, $38 job. I hit accept. It disappears, so I figure I'm going to get like the next screen. You have accepted an express shopping delivery, whatever the fuck they call it. No, it went to someone else. Now I understand if they're trying to like spread the jobs out, because I know there are other drivers with really good metrics, but it would happen after I refused, after I rejected some offers, and the ones I reject are sending me like 10 miles south of the city I live in. Now, when you do jobs from that Walmart, they often send you another 10 miles south of that little town. And if you've ever driven down little country roads, I'm a good driver. I'm really good at like understanding how much, you know, where my tires are. So a lot of these roads, there's no shoulder. There's just the lane and oncoming traffic doing 50, 60 miles an hour. And you see little crosses at certain bends and shit. On the other side of that, you know, missing shoulder, that shoulder that isn't there, are like 4 or 5 foot gullies sometimes. And the edge of the asphalt is missing, and you'll see chunks like just gone. I drive a Corolla LE. It's a skinny little car, and I do really well. And a lot of times I'll see some fucking goober in his F-150, like halfway in my fucking lane, oncoming. Or I'll get some asshole behind me that wants to do 70. I drove in downtown Manhattan post 9/11 on the day of the Republican National Convention. I think that was 2011, something like that. I think the 2012, probably 2012 actually. Yeah, it was 2012. The Republican convention was held in New York City, Midtown. I had to go down into the financial district, which is a lot of one-way roads and a lot of real asshole drivers. Pick up this woman I was friends with, who sometimes I paint her as a drunk and a psychopath, but she was going through a lot of shit in her life, and I was like the only person helping her. But the thing is, though, is that she would get drunk and like take all her shit out on me. I'm a very sympathetic person. I'll put up with it to a certain degree. You know, I'll understand this person's going through a lot. But when it reaches a critical point, you know, I'll cut them free. But back to the driving, I was driving a '93 Lincoln Mark 8. You know, with the air, I think it's the struts. Well, it's not the, I don't know what the fuck it is, but they got these airbags in the back of the car that lifts up the rear. They don't always work. So, you know, the rear end of your car is like slumped down, you know, like, it looks like somebody started doing a lowrider modification to the car. Did the rear end and didn't do the front end. The car's, you know. I made it down there and made it back to Long Island. And I did that several times. But that one time during the Republican National Convention, that was wild. And I remember I ran a red light. There were a bunch of cops. And she's screaming at me in the front seat. I had the windows down. And she's screaming her fucking head off. And I see the light yellow. And I look at the cop, and the cop just goes. And I blasted through the fucking. It turned red. I went through. I didn't get a ticket for it either. You know, the cameras and shit. But I don't know if they were installed at that light. But it was the light to get to the Midtown Tunnel. And I made it through, and when I looked in the rear view, I saw the cops laughing their asses off. I don't think you can do shit like that nowadays. Because I've experienced New York City cops before, and they were never nasty to me. I had a beer in a paper bag, and I was like really fucked up. And the cop said, "Don't open it, don't open it." So I went, psh, and I looked at her, and she's like, "Do you want to get arrested?" So I threw it in the garbage pail, and she was like, "Okay, now I don't have to arrest you." And I guess after that, I stumbled back to Penn Station. Oh, another time. This was at the Rush concert at I think Barclay. It's called Barclay Center. I think it's in Brooklyn. But we were hanging out at some cafes beforehand. I'm smoking a joint. And I see this like this cop. He's a young guy, buzz cut, doing the Marine Corps walk. And I look at him, and I went, I put it out, and he said something like, you better watch it or something like that. And I was like, I said sorry. Put it away. There were some places around the Barclays Center where you could smoke, though. So we finished up, the friends I was with. It was a good concert, too. The sound quality isn't as good as like Madison Square Garden or Nassau Coliseum, because I think it's meant more for like basketball games. But Rush played with I guess they had like a little 12 to 15 member, classical instruments. You know what I mean? Little orchestra. And it sounded really cool. And one of the violinists, you could tell she was like a big Rush fan because she was getting so into it. But when it comes to these little country roads, to get back on subject, not as forgiving as a sidewalk. I mean, I've never jumped a sidewalk, but I mean, as long as there's no one on it, I'd rather do that than slide down a fucking 4-foot gully, because you ain't getting out of that. So, that was a tangent on why I don't want to go to Nicholasville. I don't want to do jobs out of there. If they paid me $25 an hour, I would spend like at least 6 hours a day there, and I would make that my store. But they don't want to do that. They're not going to do that. None of these places want to pay by the hour. They want to pay by the job. When I was doing DoorDash, I tried doing by the hour, and they made sure I did not make more than $12.50 an hour, and you can't live off of that. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky, and $15 an hour is like just scraping by. If you get hit with like catastrophic car repair, or someone decides to sue you, you're fucked. You're totally fucked. And if you're like me, you have, only one living relative you can go to, you're homeless. So, you gotta come up with a different plan. And that's what I've been doing. Today, the prototype of my computer game goes up on itch.io. I'm really excited about that. I'm probably more optimistic than I should be. But when I test play the game, it's fun. It's undeniably fun. Replayability, I'm not sure, but I've test played it multiple times and had a good time. I mean, when it worked, When I was chasing bugs, it kind of sucked. But the cover art, the page art, looks really good. I designed the icon. That looks really good. And the icon, the way I saved it out in an ICO file, it's got the 256, the 64 to 32, and the 16 pixel square. Excuse me. Holy, that was nice. Anyway, yeah, that goes up on itch.io today. Might take until this evening. I've never done this before. I might catch some shit putting it on Steam because I vibe coded it. I used started off with Claude Sonnet 3.5, and that was all right. but I reached its limits, and I didn't know how to use the project feature back then. And if I did, I probably could have finished it a year and a half ago. Live and learn. When X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, I call it X because if I call myself my fucking whisper. So if Elon wants to change the name, he can change it. Anyway. Yeah, so I got an email. Hey, how would you like one full year of our premium package for $100? I was like, I got $100. So I did it. And I brought my game files over to Grok. And Grok finished the game. When I say finished, if he finished and I call him he because of his name. If it was Grokella, I would call it her. But anyway, functionally finished the game. He didn't put it into a. He didn't finish it like where it's refined and you can put it up for sale, but you can start the game, play the game, and finish the game. So yay! Then we started working on the full version because, like I said, way earlier, this is the prototype. And it's only 99 cents, but it's funding the full version. And tomorrow, going up to 4.2 miles an hour for 20 minutes. Tomorrow I'm going to start laying out the scaffolding for the full version. The prototype is single player only. It's a racing game. It has 5 tracks and 5 cars. That's hard coded into it. I first got into game design during the 90s, late 90s, but I didn't know shit. And I'm an awful coder. I can't do it. I'm a shitty programmer. I'm a good game designer, but I'm a shitty programmer. Anyway, as the 2000s rolled around, and the 2010s, I drifted into a lot of different directions. I started game design actually back in the early 80s, before personal computers were a real big thing. And it was all tabletop, pen and paper, dice, that kind of stuff. And I was trying to make something that, there's a thing called GURPS. I think Steve Jackson put it out. Generic universal role-playing system. And you could do fantasy, you could do science fiction, you could do Old West, modern warfare, anything. The thing is, though, you had 1 billion charts to roll dice on. It took, and the same thing with the games I designed, to simulate 10 seconds of game time took like 5 or 6 minutes of rolling dice and consulting charts. And part of the problem was digging out the chart to consult. So I didn't get my first computer until like 96. And I didn't really know what was going on under the hood until like, I would say like 2003, 2004, like that. I started building my own computers. Started helping other people with theirs. I built some cool computers. I think I made some good selections, when it came to the hardware. And the computer that I'm using now, I built this little thing. But tomorrow, yeah, I'm gonna start laying out the scaffolding with Claude Desktop, and the prototype will be up on itch.io, and we'll see how it does. The name of the game is Raceling. The name of my LLC is Codeling. So I'm making like a naming convention. Some of the games that I have planned don't fit with that. But that's okay because they're small games, you know, for the you know, the small mobile games, and they're not the gotcha games, and then, you know, you buy the game and that's it. And I might make that one for 99 cents too. I don't want to give away what it is because it's something very easy someone could just snatch away from me. And we live in this world. There are a lot of good people in the world, and I think the majority of people are good. It only really takes one scumbag to screw things up, and there's no shortage of them. One person can just create so many disasters. But a single person can also do a lot of good in the world. Hey. Hey, what are you doing? I'll make sure the timer's still going. Oh, fuck you! Fucking timer wasn't going. I tell you, there are times I feel like flushing this fucking thing down the toilet. Anyway, just crossed the 2 mile mark. So I'm gonna do 20 minutes from here. I don't know how long it's been because I guess it's been like 5 or 6 minutes, but I'm not gonna count that. So this is starting the 20-minute block of 4.2 miles an hour on a 4% grade. Google Watch 4. Yeah, no, Pixel 4. Pixel Watch 4. That's what the fucking thing is called. Sucks. It does not obey me. Now, April 25th, I want to do a fundraiser. And I want it to be a distance-based thing on the treadmill. And I'd like people to pledge by the mile so I can shock the shit out by doing like 30 miles. But I'm going to be doing it on YouTube. And I don't think YouTube, the infrastructure they have for fundraising, I don't think it supports that kind of pledge, those sort of donations. So, but I might do a few dry runs and see how they go. See if they, you know, if the charity gets the money without any problems, if the money posts to the, I'm going to be using a system called Tilify that is supposed to make it very easy for you. Also, with the watch, it's my own fault I didn't activate it. But the thing is, though, when you hit the reset, never mind. Still sucks. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing some micro fundraisers, because you can do it as many times as you want, you know. So I'll see if I can do a few before the big one. And I jammed my right knee, this past Monday coming down a hill. Not a hill, but a slope, a really sharp slope. It was close to 45 degrees, in pitch, not in temperature. Anyway, so I'm coming down, I was doing a delivery, come out of the apartment building, there's that slope. So I walked down it, and my right knee, one of the ligaments just decided how that was a bad move, and it let me know with a nice little pain. And that pain persisted into the next day. So that was Tuesday. Tuesday I did my upper body dumbbell workout, and I start that with squats, 3 sets of squats with an overhead press with the dumbbells, and it felt all right then. But later in the day it started hurting again. Wednesday when I got on the treadmill, it felt like I could feel it. It wanted to hurt, but as soon as I started like a little bit of a warm up, it went away. And I started this stream saying how lucky I am with my health. And so I know people who've torn their meniscus. I think that's a ligament. And life-changing, not in a good way. And I'm very active. It's funny because years back I was very sedentary. But if I had to be very active, I would be sedentary until payday, and then I would walk, 12 to 16 miles to cash my check and go blow it, at a hobby shop or some shit. And it was funny because, when I would go to the hobby shop and blow like $40 on shit, I was doing research for game design. And for all that investment, I had none of the gaming stuff. I had a bunch of BattleTech stuff. I gave that to a friend. I had a ton of Middle-earth role-playing stuff that would be worth like a bundle nowadays. And I gave it to this kid I was going to college with. I was in my 30s. He was like 19. Really good guitar player too. I said, here, keep these for a while and scan them if you want. He thought I meant keep them. So his girlfriend came up to me like a day later and was like, he's so, he's so overwhelmed with happiness that you gave him these. And I'm like, oh shit. So I just let him keep it. I was going to put him on eBay for like $500. But this kid was so sweet. Such a nice guy. Such a talented guitarist. That I was like, I'm in my fucking mid-30s. I should have a career. I shouldn't be fucking around at a community college. So I just let him keep it. Now I'm 58, and I wish I had those things to go throw on eBay or some shit. That's all right. Because honestly, just remembering like how brightly lit up that kid's face was every time I saw him. sometimes, memories are worth more than material. And I have to convince myself of that. But if the prototype sells, if it sells well, say a few thousand copies, 99 cents. I mean, a lot of people, when they see that, it's not like a $10 game or even a $5 game. 99 cents. They might say, "Oh, screw it," try it out. The cover art looks really cool. It kind of sells the whole idea of the game. Like I said, the game itself is fun. One thing I got to do is do some screenshots. So I got to, not test play, but just play it with OBS running and screen record it. I'm going to record video and then just try to get some good frames out of it. The game looks good when it plays, Powerade Zero tastes better than Gatorade Zero. Like, I can't drink the Gatorade fruit punch. It just tastes bad. The Powerade, and to me, it's flavored water. I don't really think of one as being better than the other. I looked at the nutrition information on Powerade. Is like, what does it say? 50% more electrolytes than leading brand, blah, blah, blah. Contains less than 2%. Magnesium, less than 2% of your RDA. Same thing with calcium. Potassium, 80 milligrams. That's 2%. Vitamin C. I didn't know vitamin C was an electrolyte, but 20%. Doesn't give you the measurement. Vitamin B12, 35%. Ooh. So you're not getting, it's not like when you go buy, well, I haven't seen the nutrition information for those electrolyte packets. But, good diet. Good diet will give you all the nutrients you need. Well, you're still going to have to supplement because of, soil depletion. There's a lot of videos talking about how soil's being depleted, and a lot of vegetables and fruits are losing their their nutritional values are dropping. So where like you would get say a certain amount of magnesium, potassium from, say, spinach, it's now 5 or 10% less than it was 10 years ago, or maybe even more than that. Right now what I'm supplementing with is potassium, magnesium glycinate, and zinc. And I might end up going with a multivitamin. I really should start doing the do you call it? Omega 6s, or omega 6. I just want to find like a good brand. I also take L-theanine, but that's more to like mellow me out. And I take ashwagandha for the same reason, just to lower cortisol. I take some before bed, and if I'm feeling especially pissy during the day, I'll take some during the day. I keep hearing about its effects on testosterone, but I obviously don't care about that. So, tell you the truth, if it wasn't for the tits, I'd probably take estrogen. I just don't want tits. Clearer skin and a smoother voice, yeah, that would be nice. Maybe be able to start singing again. I used to sing. That's not happening anymore. I think that's one of the things, I think that's one of the reasons why I'm not so gung-ho on recording. I mean, like I can hit the pitch, not like I used to, but I can sing most of my songs. I have to sing in a lower register, and I can't belt. I used to, but I always had a problem though belting when I was playing guitar at the same time, so that wasn't going to happen. I am not, you know. I can walk and chew gum, but I can't sing and play guitar. I can sing and play guitar, but I can't belt when I play guitar, you know. When I go to flex my abdominals to really like get behind the voice, I end up fucking up on the guitar. And it's my own fault for not practicing enough, but I scatter my attention too much. Recently, about 6 weeks ago, I started taking Wellbutrin, and it's been helping tremendously. And the nurse practitioner who prescribed it said, wait till the 3 or 4 month mark. When you've got like 16 or 20 weeks behind you, you're gonna really feel, you know, it'll be more subtle than the sudden change. This shit hit me within like a week. Which, yeah, within that time. I was a daily drinker. I wouldn't drink on Sundays because I would get really drunk Saturday night. But when I come home from work, every night I'd have a couple of glasses of wine. And the urge just really isn't there. I mean, I'll still drink when I want to, but it's not like, you know, on my way home, I'm not thinking, you know, fuck, I want a glass of wine. And wine season is ending, beer season is coming. In fact, I gotta do yard work, I gotta mow the lawn, front and back. I see about 3 hours worth of work, so I should get like a 6-pack and 2 of the 24 ounce. That's like 10 beers. If I get a 12-pack, I'll try to drink a 12-pack. And I mean, I can drink a 12-pack. I've done it. Actually, I can drink about 3 6-packs before I get like completely polluted. But the next day I'm going to be puking and feeling like shit and totally useless. So. And with the game and everything, I mean, the rewards for seeing it through are much greater than the immediate reward of catching a buzz. So. Priorities. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the fundraiser here because it's for an LGBTQ plus cause, and I do it at a gym that isn't exclusively for LGBTQ. I run the risk of the local color getting pissed off. But if I can, I mean, this little treadmill of mine, this thing kicks ass. So every hour I'm going to take a 5-minute break, turn this thing off for 5 minutes, give it a chance to cool down, give the motor a chance to cool down. See how many hours I can do it for. I've already done it for I think it was 5 hours and 15 minutes. I got 21 miles. But like today, I wouldn't shut the fuck up, so I got winded. So I'm just gonna have to be really careful, talking to people. If anybody even shows up at all. Going up to 4.4 miles an hour, 20 minutes. Yeah, whoa. When I reset the timer, I have to start it. It doesn't start on its own. So, yeah. Thing is, I was going to be boring as fuck. Hey, maybe not, I mean, I could just put, when I was doing the treadmill at Planet Fitness, I would download a bunch of guitar hunting episodes from Trogly's Guitar Show. And just, watch it with the headphones. And I could do that for 2 hours. So I might just run through his playlist. The thing is, though, it's going to be uncomfortable with the headphones on. And I might miss, messages or donations or whatever. So, we'll see how it goes. But I think by April 25th, I'll be able to, dive in and do a long distance fundraiser. I do 4.5 hours of this a week. And before I started doing alternate day strength training, I was doing this for 9 hours a week. I would do 6 90-minute workouts a week on the treadmill on this little guy. For the long distance fundraiser, that's just I'm not gonna have it at a 4% grade, just leave 2% grade. That little bit of a grade though helps take some of the impact off your knees. It's funny, that 1% difference between a 4% grade and a 5%, I was really surprised how much of a difference it made. It really does. The amount of resistance seems to increase more than it would like linearly. But I think that just has to do with like your individual strength and individual perception. It's like when I speed up the treadmill, I don't really feel it. When I go to 4 to 4.2, 4.2 to 4.4, I don't really feel it. I mean, I do feel that I'm moving a little faster. When I slow down from 4.4 to 4.2 and so on, I feel it. I really feel it. But that's just interesting to me. Trying to flex my legs with intention as opposed to just, letting them do it on their own. Trying to make it feel like I'm moving weight instead of just going with emotion. Closing in on the 1 hour mark. Also closing in on the 4 mile mark. Yep. 0.05 miles left. gonna have soup after this. I make vegetable soup out of, well, canned vegetables. I just use the water in the can as a stock. And I use seasoned cabbage, seasoned, what are they? I forgot what the hell they're called. They're big ass beans. Pale yellow in color, a little greenish. I forgot what the hell they're called. Butter beans. Seasoned butter beans. And what do you call it? Just mixed vegetables. And I put it in a pot, cook it up. But it's really high in sodium. It's like, for a 2-cup serving, it's like 2,000 milligrams. 2 grams of salt. Well, sodium, not salt, sodium. Excuse me. So next time I make it, I'm going to try soaking the vegetables to get some of the sodium out of it. Rinsing them out. And then just seasoning it a little bit more myself. Make up for the flavor that's lost. I sweat a lot. I sweat a lot during the week. You can see how much I'm sweating, now. And I do this 3 times a week. But that's when I have that soup, because just loosely calculating how much sodium I lose about, I think around 1,400 milligrams through sweat. That might be a high estimate, but I used Gemini to figure it out. I train like an amateur athlete, not like a professional level, or like, what do they call that? The minor league. I'm more like a really, really super enthusiastic guy on a softball team. That's how I train. I do have to remember to use my inhaler, though. I don't feel short of breath, but I think opening up my bronchioles would be very beneficial. Closing in on 500 calories. At the end of this workout, I'll probably be like around 800. Because of the time that the timer wasn't activated. Usually it's around 750 calories. I don't really go by this. The watch is telling me how many calories it calculated that I burned, and I haven't been applying the math to my workouts, and I guess that's why I'm not really seeing enormous results. But that's not really what I'm going for. I just want to define my muscles a bit and lose some fat. And some of the visceral fat too. I'm sure I have no shortage of that. funny thing is, the only reason I'm doing this, I mean, because I'm kind of comfortable, I'm very comfortable with my weight now. I'm 58 years old. I'm very satisfied with how I look. You know, my skin isn't overly wrinkled. Got some jowls, but full head of hair. I got, you know, I can pinch an inch here and there, sometimes more. But all in all, I'm not fat. So the real reason I'm doing all this, because I bought some tighter clothes than I've been wearing for like the last 20 years. And part of the reason why I've been putting on kind of with the fashion choices, more of a feminine vibe. I was abruptly taken off of 3 antidepressants and lithium and benzodiazepine, just abruptly, poof. My doctor, my MD, he was the one who was prescribing it, because the nurse practitioner that I was seeing was a complete joke of a human being. And I wish I sued that stupid bitch for malpractice. Not so much to sue her, not for more to just, she shouldn't be practicing, at all. But I didn't do it. Partly at the urging of my doctor, because he didn't want his malpractice insurance to go up. And not that I would have sued him, he was awesome. But he was like, look, you want the antidepressants? I'll give you the antidepressants. Like, all right. So I was on 3. I forgot what the hell they were. But, he retired. And the person taking over his practice didn't want to renew my subscriptions. Now, there was an avenue for me to get somebody to re-prescribe them for me. And it would have involved driving from Manorville to New Hyde Park in Nassau County. It's about 50 miles, maybe 60. And at the time it was screwed up, because I would go from Manorville to LaGuardia Airport to pick up my niece. But going to New Hyde Park for myself, when I came off those antidepressants, I was also in a really weird place. But I suddenly became very effeminate and shit. But it felt good. It felt really good. So I try to hang on to some of that. And I get some weird looks. Mostly I get compliments for my hair. Mostly it's women coming up to me and saying, you got great hair. It's awesome. I love hearing it. But I was going into Walmart. Some guy walking out muttered faggot under his breath. I don't think it was for me to hear. I think it was for him to hear. Faggot. I laughed, but not out loud. But I like some of these things. And I can just imagine the condition and conditioning that leads to transsexuality, which is why I've been always like very sympathetic towards trans people. That's why I'm doing the fundraiser for the charity I chose, Rainbow Railroad, because in Kansas, trans people have to turn over their state-issued ID, driver's license or non-driver's identification. So without that, they can't drive, can't go to work, or they have to rely on public transportation, which opens them up to more ridicule from people who get their kicks off of doing that. If anything happens, if they have to show identification to a bank, then they can't access their bank accounts. It's a really scummy move, really fucking dirty. So what this charity does, it tries to get people who are in that situation somewhere where they're not going to get fucked with. Because right now, in the United States, it's open season on trans people. And, I just don't like that. So I'm going to do my part to try to counteract some of it. Oh, come on, you piece of shit. There you go. Alright, going down to 4.2 miles an hour. See, now that I felt. Going up from 4.2 to 4.4, didn't really feel anything. When I just slowed down by 0.2 miles an hour, holy shit. So, I think maybe tomorrow or maybe Monday, I'm going to screw around and do some like small scale fundraisers, for this charity, maybe a few others. I was thinking maybe doing all my live streams as fundraisers, and then just do different charities for each different day of the week. I still want to do the big one on the 25th, but the big ones I'll just do like every 2 months. But I know I can do more than 20 miles. If I don't shoot my mouth off the whole time, which I'm going to try very hard not to do. I might just turn my microphone off. Have a little thank you sign to hold up. Just do something like this. Poor little treadmill. As for myself, though, we just crossed the 5 mile mark. I wouldn't say I'm in any way trans. I don't see myself as female. I'm definitely male. But to take on some characteristics, some feminine characteristics, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Nowadays, I'm so tired of the alpha male scene, and just how embarrassing it is to be male, because of these guys. It is, it's just embarrassing. You know, they, one thing that really gets to me about them is that a lot of them are doing the whole trad wife thing. I want a traditional wife. I want her to work. You know? I want her to pump out kids for me. But if she loses her figure, if time starts to hit her, if she loses her looks, will she lose her husband? Because I don't think these guys are as moral as they claim to be. And somebody whose father ran out when he was only 3 months old, that's me, by the way, can kind of spot the bullshit. And what's funny is that, you know, a lot of them are into the magazine. Not all of them. And a lot of them are listening to RFK Jr. And I would like to get in touch with RFK Jr. and ask him, don't you think cardio equipment, you know, and supplements, you know, good supplements, not bullshit, but should be tax deductible to a degree. You want to make America healthy again? Give them the tools to do it. And especially if you're going to be knocking up your trad wife and not letting her go to work, or keeping her so bound to household duties that she gets no exercise and she gets fat, and then trad husband, bye-bye. So when it comes to that whole thing, that's how I look at it. I would be what they call a soy boy, even though I don't eat much soy. Like, I use light mayonnaise, and I see that there's soybean oil in that, but I think that's the only thing. I can't think of anything else that has soybean oil in it. Sometimes, like when I cut up a cucumber at the end of the night, low-calorie snack, I'll use the low-calorie Italian dressing. I think that has soy in it, soybean oil. I don't really give a shit anymore. I don't have tits. Everyone was saying, you eat soy, you're gonna grow tits. Oh, fuck. I don't want tits. I don't want tits because I got little pecs. That would suck. So I used to look at ingredients, and if I saw soy, like, oh no, can't have that. This was, of course, before I was on those medications and had abruptly taken off of them. Soy. But soy's big in Asia, and if it was true, every Asian guy would have like a decent pair of knockers, because they're eating soy from cradle to grave. Raw sales in Asia would be through the roof, you know? The world is a very screwed up place. At the end of the movie Seven, Morgan Freeman quotes Ernest Hemingway. The world is a beautiful place and worth dying for, something like that. And he says, I agree with the second statement. I agree with the first, actually. And maybe the second. Take away all the bullshit human beings superimpose on the physical world. Take all that away, you have a beautiful place. I mean, just driving through Kentucky, it's gorgeous down here. Upstate New York, it's beautiful. Long Island beaches, before they went to shit. The coastal salt marshes, you know, the migratory birds, the seabirds coming in and out. Northern New Jersey, southern New Jersey, down in the Pine Barrens. Once you superimpose all the human bullshit over it, yeah, I can see it being ugly. But in and of itself, it's gorgeous. This treadmill shuts off at 99 minutes. And I'm wondering, yeah, I might have to alter what I'm doing. Let me see what the clock says on this thing. Because I got 5 minutes or so left at 4.2 miles an hour. And it's 81 minutes now. So that'll take me 86 minutes. Yeah, screw it. I'm gonna go down to 4 miles an hour and do that for 10 minutes. Okay. That way I can do the cool off. A lot of hair in my mouth. So yeah, even when I'm feeling good, I can find things to bitch about. So yeah, this will be about, I thought I was going to hit 7 miles today, but this will probably shut off before then. I was hoping that this would stay on and what do you call it, the readout would just, you know, turn over. But it doesn't do that. Oh, excuse me. It just shuts off at 99 minutes. And it's not 99 minutes, 59 seconds, it's just 99 minutes. 99:00. Whoa, 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 whoa. I am a certified spaz. I have a little certificate. I just can't find it. Otherwise I would have it, you know, framed and on display. It's got me out of a lot of trouble. But I really do think cardio equipment and nutritional supplements, like mineral supplements or shit, even multivitamins. Dr. Brad Stanfield, I like the guy. He's got a great channel. He goes over a lot of important and interesting things. He sells the multivitamin. And it's like $80 a month. I think it's more than that. Between $70 and $90 a month. I know it's a lot, but it's good. It has like a lot of good ingredients. The guy knows what he's doing. Why isn't that tax deductible? Or why isn't like 50% of it tax deductible? You know, the MAGA boys want their trad wife to stay slim. Get her a fucking treadmill. Further incentivize it by letting them write it off on their fucking taxes. That's why it's like I would listen to Biden and his bullshit, and I knew it was just bullshit. And then Harris went on the campaign trail, which was just disastrous. And it seemed to me like the Democrats were trying to lose. They wanted Trump to win. Trump, on the other hand, I never liked the guy. I remember back in like the late 80s and the 90s, people would say to me, you know, actually, not just like my mom loved him. You know, she's gone now. But friends of mine, my peers, be like, hey, Donald Trump's gonna be on TV tonight. Who gives a fuck? The fucking real estate guy from Queens. Who cares? Like fucking Geddy Lee's gonna be on. It's like Robert Plant or fucking Jimmy Page. Shit. Tell me Keith Emerson's gonna be on. You know? Ian Anderson, John Anderson, Steve Howe, my favorite fucking guitarist. Fucking Donald Trump. Be like, who's the guy? Warren Buffett. I mean, I've read some stuff that he said, and very interesting, but I don't want to sit there and fucking listen to him. Lee Iacocca. Now you have the guy who set the design parameters for the Ford Mustang, which, you know, back in the 60s, that was the car. It set the stage for everything else. The Camaro came along as a competition for it, but there was no competition. Camaro's a great car. I love Camaros, I love Firebirds, but they're different. They are very, very different from the Mustang. And the Mustang came in inexpensive. The Camaros didn't. You gotta remember, you know, before the Mustang was the Corvette. You know. And I'm not really a car guy, but I grew up around car guys. You know, swapping motors and shit like that. I would help out. Hold flashlights and shit. They would try to explain to me what they were doing, but I couldn't. You know. Just like when I tried to explain music theory to them, they'd be like, I don't know. A friend of mine is like a really good mechanic. He manages an auto parts store now. She showed me, he's like, I am non-musical. And he tried tapping out a beat to a song, a very simple song, and he couldn't fucking do it. Very simple 4/4 beat, he couldn't do it. He's like, I just don't, you know. But I've watched him fix many, many, many broken cars. He's a Trump supporter. I think, but not like to a ridiculous extent. He just believes in some of the policies Trump put forward. Shit. Not taxing overtime, not taxing tips. It would have been great if it was, you know, true to the letter. It was explained to me how the overtime tax works. And you're not getting, overtime is not tax-free. It's just taxed differently. I gotta see how tips are taxed, because I'm shit tonight. I gotta do my taxes tonight. It's gotta be tonight or this weekend. I gotta do federal, state, and local, because I'm not an employee, I'm an independent contractor. Oh boy. I'm gonna get Grok to help me. Grok's good when it comes to like taxes and shit like that. I had to file my extension tax for my LLC this year, and Grok was, like I said before, I'm a certified spaz, so Grok helped me tremendously. Just like Claude has helped me publish games. Oh boy. And after today, I might be experiencing some life-changing events. Hopefully in a good way. Alright. So in a minute, I'm going to slow down to do the cool off. That'll go to 3.6 miles an hour, then 3.2, then 2.8, then 2.4. I might let that run a little long. Yeah, it's gonna be about 6.5 miles too. About 750 calories, so it worked out to be pretty much the same. So, 3.6 miles an hour for a minute and a half. Ooh. My legs feel really good right now. I changed my lunge workout. The lunge workout I did last week, I ended up doing 108 lunges, and it's overkill. So what did I do yesterday? 4 sets of 4, twice. 16, 30, so 64. I think 64 lunges are enough for a day. And I did them in a very exaggerated way, very pretentious. It's fun. Alrighty. And do another minute at 3.6. Got about 5.5 minutes before it shuts off. So I'll just do a minute of 3.2 and 2.8 and 2.4. See, now this speed, I could do this for like 12 hours. 5-minute break every hour. I could do this 12 hours easy. So what would that be? 3.6 miles an hour. 12 hours. So that'd be 36 plus 12 times 0.6. So that would be 7.2. 36 plus 7.2 would be like 42 miles. I'm going to do a minute and a half. 3.2. This I could do this for like 16 hours. 5-minute rest. little slower than I walk naturally. I guess I'm like about 3.5 miles an hour when I walk, up to around 3.8. When I'm doing the shopping at Walmart, for delivery, I'm usually about 3.6 to 3.8 miles an hour, sometimes more. I've I've gone running through the store sometimes. I'm gonna go back and tag this treadmill in all my cardio workouts so people can see it in action and see its durability, you know, day after day. And shit, I had it for 2 months before I started streaming. All right, going down to 2.8. Do this for a minute and then 2.4 for a minute. I might cut the 2.4 out because sometimes it feels like the conveyor belt is slipping on the deck. It's like too slow for my legs. We'll see. We'll see in about 15 seconds. You see, in the beginning, doing 2.4 miles an hour kind of screws me up. I end up getting slippage in the, what do you call it? In the belt. But after doing it for an hour and a half, you know, see how far we got. I think it's only going to be about 6.5 miles. 6.6. Yeah, so it went a little over 6.5 miles. Usually it's like 6.46, 47, something like that. We'll see. The clock's going to run out before it displays distance again. So. Yep. 6.62 miles. So we're going to kill it. Oof. Ooh. Oh, God. Very sweaty. Anyway, a lot of babbling today. Well, many blessings and many thanks. I'll be back tomorrow with the upper body dumbbell workout, and I hope to see you then. Until then, take care and best wishes to you and all you love. Good health, good fortune, and lasting happiness.